So, you've decided to fundraise or to revamp your fundraising, but where do you start? Well, the basis of any successful and sustainable approach to fundraising is developing a clear, well thought out fundraising strategy. This will help you to determine what your fundraising goals are, establish what resources you have for fundraising, and also figure out how much you need and when. You're probably wondering, especially if you work in a smaller non-profit with hardly any resources, where the benefit is in spending your very precious time writing a fundraising strategy when you could be spending it raising money. Well, put simply, your fundraising will be less likely to succeed without a good strategy. Full stop. A fundraising strategy will support your vision and help you to deliver your key goals. It will help you to take a long-term view of fundraising and take you away from jumping at short-term gains all the time. So a strategy will help you to identify and take advantage of opportunities before they happen. Now, I'm not suggesting you'll become a clairvoyant, but by seeing the bigger picture, you'll identify more leads and become more proactive, rather than constantly chasing every funding stream that appears. I'm Heather Stewart, and I specialise in working with small charities and non-profits, just like yours, to help you make the most of the resources you have available to fundraise more successfully, now and in the future. I've almost 20 years' experience of fundraising, and here I'm going to share with you the steps you need to take to create a successful fundraising strategy. So let's get started. You need to take a good look at your organisation. What are your goals? What's your mission? What do you want to achieve in the next few years? A good strategy will help you to deliver these. Consider your non-profit's experience. Think about projects that you've delivered and fundraising approaches that you've made. And it's important to look at them whether they've been successful or not, to consider why they worked or what went wrong. Ask for other people's perceptions of your organisation. Now that might be your users, staff, other funders, staff from organisations similar to yours. What do they say about you? You might be surprised. Next, you need to think about what you need money for. Are there specific projects? Do you need to raise money for core costs? Or is there a capital project that you have coming up? You need to consider different sources of funding depending on the type of projects that you have. Now it's time to get creative. Planning doesn't have to be boring or the responsibility of one person. Make it a fun day, or maybe even an evening with a few bottles of wine, whatever works for you. Involve other staff and board members and gather their ideas. Think about what you need money for and where it could come from. Consider different approaches to raising money. Could you earn some of your income? Is there a project that will really appeal to trusts? Maybe you've got a great new venture that sponsors will be interested in. The only rules at this stage is that there are no rules. Think out of the box. No ideas too crazy. Be creative. You never know where the good ideas are going to come from, so get them all in there. Now think about your processes. What resources do you have for fundraising? And I don't just mean budget, but think about staff time, volunteers, and operational systems, such as a database or communications programme. What do you already have or do that you could use to support your fundraising? Consider everything that you do in your office. Now, who's going to implement your day-to-day fundraising and who's going to manage the programme? If you're a really small organisation, I appreciate that this might be the same person. Are your boards going to fundraise and network for you? The answer to this question is, I hope, yes. And of course, you need to think about how you will monitor and evaluate your fundraising. So, plan monthly, quarterly, 6-monthly and annual reviews so you can adapt your approach as necessary and keep taking advantage of all the opportunities that will help to keep you moving in the right direction. It's important too that you use these reviews to measure and celebrate every success. And that doesn't just mean money in the door. It could be securing a meeting with a prospect that you've been trying to get in touch with for ages. It could be getting your database up and running. Now that your planning's in place, you can take action. You know what you need to do and who will be doing it. So now you can really get into the details. At this point, I like to take out a calendar and plan fundraising for the year. But look at everything you'll be doing and how your fundraising could fit with that. Are there opportunities to leverage other activities? Do you send out member communications, for example, that you could adapt for donors? Or do you have any profile raising events that you could invite potential donors to or use to fundraise? The whole point is to work smarter, not harder, by using your resources effectively and efficiently. But most important, stay focused and start raising money. If you'd like any more free ideas and advice, why not pop over to activatefundraising.com and sign up to receive our newsletter, where you'll get regular ideas, news and tips. Or drop me an email to heather@activatefundraising.com if you've any questions. And most of all, good luck with your fundraising.